U.S. tightens immigration policies, easier deportations for Caribbean nationals, and Trump's travel ban on 22 African nations. Good evening, and welcome to Vlog ND. Tonight, we bring you a major development in U.S. immigration policy that has sent shockwaves through the Caribbean immigrant community. In a dramatic escalation, the Trump administration has leveraged a centuries-old wartime law to deport individuals despite a federal judge's order blocking the move. At the heart of this controversy is a highly contentious prisoner transfer agreement brokered between the United States and El Salvador. The deal, facilitated by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, enables the U.S. to deport convicted criminals, including suspected gang members, directly into El Salvador's prison system, a system widely criticized for human rights violations. What is even more alarming is that when a federal judge intervened to halt these deportations, the administration ignored the ruling, justifying the move by citing the Alien Enemies Act, a law originally passed in 1798 during wartime. However, the United States is not currently at war with El Salvador or any other nation. Immigration officials argue that criminal organizations pose a form of irregular warfare against the country, allowing the government to exploit legal loopholes to facilitate mass deportations without due process. This unprecedented move raises significant concerns. If the U.S. government can override judicial orders in this manner, what stops them from expanding the policy to include other immigrant groups? For Caribbean nationals, this development is particularly troubling. Historically, Caribbean immigrants have been disproportionately affected by U.S. deportation policies. From mass Haitian deportations in the 1980s to increased removals of Jamaican nationals in the early 2000s, the pattern is clear. Now, with the Trump administration setting a new legal precedent, the risk of widespread deportations targeting Caribbean immigrants, even those with legal status, has escalated. Experts warn that today's focus on gang members could quickly shift to low-income immigrants from high-crime areas, disproportionately affecting Caribbean communities in major U.S. cities. The United States already has deportation agreements with several Caribbean nations, including Haiti, Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic. If the El Salvador model proves successful, it could serve as a template for broader implementation across the region. With the government demonstrating its ability to circumvent judicial rulings, the question remains, what safeguards are in place to prevent a similar policy from being applied to Caribbean nationals? Immigration advocates stress the importance of securing legal status, seeking legal counsel, and staying informed about policy changes. If you are a Caribbean immigrant in the U.S., now is the time to take action. Ensure your legal documentation is in order, know your rights when dealing with immigration authorities, and avoid legal infractions no matter how minor, as past offenses can now be grounds for removal. The stakes are high, and this latest move by the administration represents a significant shift in U.S. immigration enforcement. The question now is, who will be next? Stay tuned to Vlog ND for continued updates on this developing story. Trump administration imposes travel ban on 22 African nations, including Burkina Faso. In a sweeping move that has sparked widespread debate, former U.S. President Donald Trump, now back in office, has issued an executive order banning citizens from 22 African nations, including Burkina Faso, from entering the United States. The decision, framed as a measure to bolster national security and economic protectionism, has drawn sharp criticism and reignited discussions about Africa's relationship with the West. The ban, which affects countries such as Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Burkina Faso, has been met with mixed reactions. While some view it as a continuation of Trump's controversial immigration policies, others see it as a wake-up call for African nations to prioritize self-reliance and reduce dependence on foreign aid. The Trump administration's executive order, unveiled earlier this month, categorizes 43 countries into red and yellow lists based on perceived alignment with U.S. interests. The red list, which includes nations like Libya and Somalia, faces an immediate and total travel ban. Meanwhile, the yellow list, comprising countries such as Burkina Faso, Cameroon, and Chad, has been given 60 days to address U.S. concerns or face stricter measures. Critics argue that the ban reflects a long-standing narrative that portrays Africa as a continent plagued by chaos and corruption. During his first term, Trump famously referred to some African nations as shithole countries, and this latest move is seen by many as an extension of that dismissive attitude. While the ban has been condemned as discriminatory, it has also sparked conversations about Africa's need to break free from the cycle of dependence on Western aid. The transcript highlights the stark contrast between nations like Burkina Faso, which has embraced a path of self-reliance under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, and other African countries that continue to rely heavily on foreign assistance. Since assuming power in a 2022 coup, Traoré has pursued a policy of radical self-sufficiency, expelling French troops, rejecting Western aid, and forging partnerships with countries like Russia and China. Burkina Faso's agricultural sector has seen significant growth, with tomato canning factories and cotton cooperatives symbolizing the nation's commitment to local industry. Despite challenges, including ongoing security threats, Burkina Faso has demonstrated resilience and progress, serving as a model for other African nations. The ban has exposed the fragility of Africa's reliance on foreign aid and the need for systemic change. Across the continent, corruption and mismanagement have undermined development efforts, with billions of dollars in aid failing to translate into tangible improvements in healthcare, education, and infrastructure. For instance, Nigeria, despite its vast oil wealth, continues to grapple with poverty and preventable diseases, while Kenya and South Africa face similar challenges exacerbated by corruption. The situation underscores the urgent need for African leaders to prioritize investment in their own economies and people, rather than relying on external assistance. While the travel ban has been met with outrage, it has also been framed as an opportunity for Africa to redefine its future. Vlog ND calls on African leaders to abandon the begging bowl mentality and focus on building sustainable economies rooted in local resources and innovation. Burkina Faso's example offers a blueprint for progress, demonstrating that self-reliance is not only possible but essential for long-term development. By investing in agriculture, infrastructure, and education, African nations can unlock their potential and reduce their dependence on foreign aid. Donald Trump's travel ban on 22 African nations has reignited debates about Africa's place in the global order and the need for self-determination. While the decision has been criticized as exclusionary and discriminatory, it has also served as a stark reminder of the urgent need for African leaders to address corruption, invest in their people, and chart a path toward self-reliance. As Burkina Faso's progress under Captain Ibrahim Traoré shows, the continent's future lies not in the hands of foreign powers but in the determination and resilience of its own people. The ban may be a setback, but it also presents an opportunity for Africa to rise, redefine its narrative, and build a future rooted in dignity and self-sufficiency. Vlog ND will continue to monitor developments and provide updates on this evolving story. I'm Jackie Pierre, and thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, like and share our video. We appreciate your support so much.